Hello and welcome to the first episode of OpenText Extended ECM in action. Today we will look at the sales process with order entry. My name is Mark Diefenbruch, Senior Director Product Management OpenText. This is a scenario. We have a company called Innovate, and Innovate is selling pump products to a customer called Global Trade. So this scenario works like this. We have Nick Wheeler. He is a salesperson working as account director using Salesforce day in, day out. He creates new opportunities. We have Liz White, Executive Vice President, working in OpenText Process Suite, taking care of approval of outgoing offers to the customer. Then we have Kate Miller. She's responsible for order entry. Kate works in SAP Fiori to process incoming sales orders. She also works in OpenText Extended ECM to have access to all the content associated to the sales process. And finally, we will go back to Salesforce to Nick Wheeler to see how Nick gets access to all the sales order processing. So let's start with the first step. We have Nick Wheeler. He is a sales director. He works with Salesforce CRM, and the solution he uses is OpenText Extended ECM for Salesforce. What we will see in this step is a Salesforce account with an embedded Extended ECM workspace. We will see how a new Salesforce opportunity auto-creates a workspace for that opportunity. We will see how simple it is to add content with drag and drop. And we will see how Nick can also access the Extended ECM Smart UI and using analytics capabilities to quickly find similar opportunities. So let's start with a demo. So this is a Salesforce start page. We are Nick Wheeler in a sales role. So first thing is that Nick now goes to his customer, Global Trade. We open the Global Trade account page in Salesforce and we see that there is an OpenText Extended ECM workspace embedded right in the Salesforce page with a standardized folder structure. And all the content that Nick uses can be stored here right in the Salesforce context, for example, an account plan. When Nick needs a more sophisticated look into the ECM capabilities, he can also open the Smart UI of Extended ECM with just a click of a button. Here we see the Global Trade customer workspace, we see the account team, the different roles and persons, we see customer attributes which are fully synchronized with Salesforce. We have an activity feed that shows what's going on in the workspace. And of course, we have our standardized folder structure here as well. It's exactly the same that we have seen in Salesforce before. And we see also related workspaces like sales contracts, sales orders, and deliveries. And using the Salesforce information, for example, the address data, we can also pull in additional information here like a map of where to find the customer. Okay, now let's start creating an opportunity. So there's already a list of opportunities associated with Global Trade. Let's go on and create a new opportunity here. Click New Opportunity. We enter a name for that opportunity. Global Trade. So let's say we are selling a pump or a bunch of pumps to this customer, Global Trade. So we give it a name. We select some of the Salesforce standard attributes like type and lead source. We enter a date and also a stage. When we want, we can also associate this opportunity with a campaign in Salesforce. We save the opportunity, and now we have a new opportunity, 304, that we just created in Salesforce. What we do next, we want to associate a product with this opportunity. So we go to the product picker, we search for the product, which is P100, that's the pump we want to sell, and select it. Let's assume we want to sell 10 pieces of this pump, so we enter the quantity here, and the opportunity is now set up. When we open the OpenText Extended ECM tab here, we see that the workspace for that opportunity was automatically created. We also see that the pump P100 is now also available as a substructure in that workspace, which itself is a related workspace. So now let's add some content to that opportunity workspace. With just drag and drop capabilities built into the Salesforce UI, we can simply add documents here to that workspace. So now we are copying 3 documents here right into the technical documents folder, a pump specification and some images. So Let's assume Nick wants to add some comments here, maybe for his team. Hi team, please review these customer requirements. So maybe there's some important information that Nick has received from the customer. So we can post that, and now it is associated as a comment to this pump specification document. Again, we can open up the workspace also in the Smart UI. We see this opportunity 304 here with Nick Wheeler associated as a salesperson. We see the opportunity attributes, and we also see the related product here, P100, which again is a workspace that with just a click of a button we could navigate to that workspace. We see the activity feed here, we see what happens there, added documents and comments. We have a look at the folder structure here in the Smart UI as well. Here we see the 3 documents that we have just added in the Salesforce interface and also the comment that we did. When we go to related, we see that the opportunity is related to the customer and to the campaign that we have selected in Salesforce. And we can also use the Analytics tab here, where we use analytics capabilities to find similar opportunities with similar products or customers in similar industries. And we see also relevant contacts for these opportunities. People Nick Wheeler may want to reach out to collect some additional information. And there's also a closing probability, which is calculated based on the ratio of won and lost similar opportunities. Okay, let's continue with step number 2, the offer approval. The persona here is Liz White. She's Executive Vice President with Innovate, and she works with OpenText Process Suite. She also uses Extended ECM for Process Suite to have access to all the associated content. What we will show in this step is how Salesforce triggers the Process Suite. We will then see how a credit check is carried out with a Process Suite for global trade based on data from CRM, ERP, and Dun & Bradstreet ratings. And finally, we will see how the approval is then done. So first of all, in the inbox of Liz White, we see the opportunity 304. That's exactly the opportunity we have created in Salesforce before. So it's now in the inbox here of the Process Suite. We have all information available. We can approve or decline right away, or we can open the opportunity to have a closer look. And what we see here is that the overall credit check is flagged as red. So something seems to be wrong here. On the other side, the D&B rating is positive and green. So obviously some of the internal data needs to be investigated. So let's have a look. The opportunity data is listed here, the amount, expected close date, also the expected revenue based on the probability, and some other information that is provided by Nick Wheeler in Salesforce. What we also see here on the bottom part is the order volume with global trades. So there's quite a substantial amount of revenue which is done with global trade. But on the other side, there is a lot of outstanding payments, obviously. So that leads to a negative balance. And that's the reason for the red flag here. So Liz can have a closer look also on the content side. On the right-hand side, we see the embedded extended ECM workspace for the opportunity 304, and we can, for example, go into the technical documents folder. That's exactly the folder that Nick Wheeler worked on, and we see the pump specification here and some of the other content. And Liz could have a look at the document or the comments that Nick Wheeler did to review the opportunity and come to her final decision if she is approving that or not. What she also can do is go to the task management of the Process Suite and assign tasks to additional people for additional review steps, maybe legal approval or financial review or other tasks. But let's assume she's now approving that exception, so approving the offer, and that brings up that pop-up window. And by clicking OK, Liz White basically approves that the offer can be sent to the customer global trade. Now we are continuing with step 3, the sales order entry in SAP. We are now Kate Miller. Kate works in SAP S4HANA with the Fiori user interface. She's using OpenText Business Center and OpenText Document Presentment for processing incoming documents and generating outgoing conversations and communications with the customer. What we will show in this step is the processing of the incoming documents using OCR, data extraction and validation. We will see how to handle exceptions, and we'll also see how Kate can send out customer correspondence right from the Fiori interface. And finally, we will create the sales order in SAP and file all the associated documents into Extended ECM. So let's start with the Fiori Launchpad. We have Kate Miller. She works in a sales role, and there is a tile for Business Center to process incoming sales orders. So we see Global Trade sales order here. That's exactly the order for the offer that we sent out before. We see there's one line item for the product P100, 10 pieces. That's the information that was extracted automatically by OCR from the actual document that was sent by Global Trade. And that's the document that we see here, the purchase order with all the information, the line items. All this data has been automatically extracted and validated by OpenText Business Center already. So let's go back to the Business Center Fiori app. We have also access here to the customer workspace. So if Kate needs to check any additional information, she can also open the customer workspace here. We see again the same documents that we have seen before in Salesforce. This is now available in SAP as well. So every stakeholder has access to the same information. So when we look at the details page again, what is coming up here is a warning. So something is wrong here. Obviously, a Global Trade used a different material number for this pump product than what we know internally. And also, Kate was informed by the logistics department that we cannot ship 10 pieces of that pump because only 8 are in stock. So first of all, she wants to correct the material number. And based on rules and validation algorithms, there are some proposals what the right number should be, which is P100. She also adjusts the quantity and the net value and saves this data back to OpenText Business Center. So she can do corrections here. For these exceptions that appear, wrong material number, wrong order quantity, she can do adjustments here. And now the warning is gone. So of course, when we just ship 8 pieces and the customer has ordered 10, we should let the customer know about that. So there's a template prepared for order rejection because of the stock. So we can create here a customer correspondence based on a document template from OpenText Document Presentment. We pick the product which is affected here, the line item which is affected, and put in the new stock quantity. So basically the quantity that we can ship, and we update this letter to the customer. So what we see on the right-hand side is a preview of that customer correspondence with the letter letting the customer know about this under delivery. So when we are done, we can click Submit to create the final document. So now we see the PDF document here to Global Trade. Dear Global Trade, thank you for your interest in our product. Unfortunately, we do not have everything in stock. As bespoken via phone, we will only deliver 8 of the product P100. So basically letting the customer know about this under deliverable. Okay, we click Finish, and now we see that an additional document has been added to the sales order. And this is exactly the document that we have automatically created with OpenText Document Presentment. So this is now also associated with the sales order object in OpenText Business Center. Once we are done, we can submit that sales order to SAP. We can add some comments here. So for example, material number corrected, full stop, quantity adjusted because of stock shortage, full stop, customer letter plus sales order confirmation sent. So basically she's just documenting what she has done and then submitting that sales order. What's happening then is that the sales order is created in SAP. Okay, so let's continue with step number 4. Again, we are Kate Miller, but now we work with Extended ECM, with the smart UI of Extended ECM. What we will show in this step is how the landing page of Extended ECM looks for a sales persona, how Kate can have quick access to customer workspaces and browse business relationships between customers, opportunities, and sales orders, all in the smart UI of Extended ECM. We will also see that all the SAP documents like the order confirmation and the customer correspondence are properly filed in the appropriate workspaces in Extended ECM. So this is the Smart UI landing page of Extended ECM. We are Kate Miller again. We can also have a look at the social profile of Kate Miller. So all the information about her, what are the people she's following, what are her followers, that is all available on this social profile. And she can also see from that perspective what is going on in the system, who created what kind of content and did which comments. These are the followers, and she can also filter all activities here. So very powerful social capabilities built right into Extended ECM. What we also see, there is a tile called Sales Updates, where she can see what is going on in terms of numbers. There's an activity feed where she can see what is going on in terms of content. Recently accessed, there's a sales tile with a homepage for sales, and she also sees the customer, sales orders, and products. Let's go to Global Trade. Now again, we see the workspace for Global Trade in the Smart UI. This is the same workspace we have seen before from the Salesforce side. We see all the activities, all the documents that have been added here in the activity feed. Again, the customer attributes synchronized with SAP and Salesforce, and we see the folder structure. When we click on Related, we see the related workspaces and the related business objects. So for Customer Global Trade, these are the sales contracts, sales orders, and deliveries. When we scroll down, we see also that the opportunities are related to that customer workspace as well. So for example, our opportunity 304 is listed here as well, the global trade. We can see a preview of that data with a pop-up. Or if we browse into that 304 workspace, we are again at the opportunity workspace we have seen before. So there's a back and forth relationship based on the business information from CRM and ERP. And again, we could go to the technical documents folder where we find the pump specification again. And for example, we could add a comment here acknowledging that we have received the information from Nick Wheeler. Okay, we'll take care. So we will have a look at the requirements and discuss with product management. And we post that. So it's now listed in the conversations right here. So now that we are at the opportunity, we can then go back to the customer. So from browsing from the opportunity to back to the customer global trade where we came from. This is again the overview page. And let's go to the related page now and browse into the sales order. So now we want to find the new sales order that we have created with Business Center in SAP. So we know it's number 290. We filter the list to quickly find the right one. We can see the pop-up window here. And now we are in the new sales order workspace. That is a workspace that was generated by Business Center by creating the sales order in SAP, which then triggered that creation of the workspace. And we see all the related information here. And we find, again, a template-based folder structure. And you see it's not empty. It already contains the documents which have been processed before. It's the incoming document, the incoming order from the customer. It has all the appropriate metadata, and it also got a records management classification for sales, because we know that already from the business context in SAP. So, of course, we can use the Brava viewer to have a look at the documents again, the global trade purchase order, documents with all the detailed information that we can see here. And when we browse up again and go into the other folder, order confirmation, where we find the document that was generated automatically by document presentment, so the confirming that we have received the order. with the 8 pieces and the total amount, which has been adjusted by Kate Miller. And finally, the third document that was generated was the customer correspondence, letting the customer know that there is an under delivery for that pump product. That's exactly the document that we have generated before with document presentment from the SAP Fiori app, letting the customer know that we only ship 8. In the fifth and last part of our demo, we will go back to Salesforce. We will go back to Nick Wheeler working in the Salesforce CRM system. What we will show in this step is how Nick now has access to all order fulfillment information right in Salesforce. The sales order workspace was automatically created by the process suite and is now viewable as a Salesforce order object, resolving basically the content silos that you typically find between CRM and ERP systems. All the documents that were processed or produced in SAP S/4HANA now can be accessed right in Salesforce. So let's go right into the demo. So we are back at the opportunity page in Salesforce CRM, and what we see now is that a new order object has been created related to the opportunity object. So just with starting on the opportunity, with one click of a button, Nick Wheeler can browse into the order in Salesforce. And we also see that the order is related to the opportunity and that there is a cross-application object ID, which is basically the SAP order number, which is 290. This is the order workspace that we have seen before, and when we browse into the folders, we find all the documents that we have seen before, now also available in the Salesforce user interface. It's exactly the same workspace. So when we go into order confirmation, we find the order confirmation document. So Nick Wheeler is now fully aware of all the information that was produced, what was shipped to the customer, that there was an under delivery of only 8 pieces where the customer ordered 10. And also the customer correspondence letter is of course available now also in the Salesforce interface. So that gives Nick a full insight into all the interactions that happened with his customer in between, triggered by the ERP system, carried out by his colleague Kate Miller. So when we go into the technical documents, we also find again additional comments here. Nick Wheeler sees the comment from Kate Miller that she will take care of the special customer requirements, and he's answering glad to hear this, and posts this into the conversation thread. So you see how effective it is to work with Extended ECM across different systems, SAP, Salesforce, in terms of content and social interactions. Thank you, that's it for today. So here you find my contact details. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions.